All right, we're in the weekend round of the playoff tournament. So I have no idea what the scores are up at the top. I've never been a fan of looking. You can you get up there at the top and somebody's posted a monster score. You put some pressure on yourself. I usually like to just work my way up and see what happens. But let's think about what we should anticipate. I have no idea what the cutoff at 50 is if we really kind of look at that as the minimum score. We've got to get eagles on all the par 5. So, really, in all honesty, our minimum score is 24. And we have the opportunity here to pick up all of the par 4s. All three of the par 4s you can get on in one. It's possible. So, taking 3 per side, 6 total, we're now at 30. And I think that if you want to have any shot at getting a banner, you have to start at 30. And I'm pretty positive that I'm going to have to pick up at least one of the par 3s. We're trying to get the eagles on all the par 4s, and all 3 par 5s. Just getting eagle is what's killing people. So really our only opportunities to get ahead of the Joneses is on those par 3s. So we'll have to see as the round goes on. But if you can't succeed on the par 5s and the par 4s, you got to get eagles on all of those. It doesn't matter how well you do on the par 3. So let's try and do 15 per side and try and pick up one other shot. So let's get at it. Hole number 1. Hole number 1. And we're at Glen Monarch, and it's hole number 2. And I'm trying to get on in 1. I'm taking the white line. And to get this magical job done, I'm going to take... You can do this with an extra mile, but it does take... I think if you've got a tailwind, I've seen some people do it with lower power balls, but I think I might be able to do it without having to do a lot of overpower. Five, 2 side spin, maybe. It's either that or that, and I really don't. I think that's about my options there. I could take a 4 power ball. I've got a bunch of 4 power balls, but I'm going to take that Berserker. And really, it's going to boil down to it's either one of those 2 clubs. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I'm going to start off with an APOC. I might have to use an extra mile for topspin. I think I was using one of those Bryson balls, and it gave my Apocalypse a little more topspin, so I had a little more rod distance, and I had more of what the extra mile 9's topspin is. So I might have been using one of those Bryson balls. Alright, let's go get at it. Let's take care of some business here and clean up some of these chests. At least a few. Hopefully everybody's having a good tournament. This is definitely, like, you get on those tournaments where everything's long shots coming into the cup. Your wind adjustments are super critical. Following it around with varying wind. But this particular tournament, where we can actually try and get over there and get on, where we got a short chip on these par 4s, we have serious opportunities in this tournament to do well. And I also have some clip card trading, I believe. Let's see if I can get one of the 5 epics I'm looking for. Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse, Cataclysm, Spitfire, and Off-Roader. Thor's Hammer. I hardly ever see a Thor's Hammer. But just like my Apocalypse, it took 3 years for me to get a Thor's Hammer and an Apocalypse. After 3 years of playing, I still had not gotten a Thor's Hammer, a Cataclysm, and Apocalypse and I got them all within about a month. It only took forever. All right, first shots of the day. Let's just go out there and get at it. Need to start the round off with an eagle. It's always the thing when you first start playing. Just getting a little warmed up, just going out there and taking a few shots. Try and get rid of the jitters before you get out on the course. Once you get out on the course, you're fine. If I can get an opponent. Thanks, Mommy. I was whining and my mommy showed up. All right. Let's see what kind of topspin that gives me. I'm going to let that wind push me a little, so I'm going to take a little teeny bit of that topspin off. I'm going to let the wind push me out into the middle of the fairway. Hit it. One ring, two rings, great to the right. If I can make this bounce right here, I should be fine. And nope, just a little bit too much. One ring, I probably would have had it. All right. I can still make this shot from here. This is if you hit it perfect, it's in the hole. And just a little bit too much power there. Extra mile might have actually been better there because I don't know against that wind. I left the wind in, tried to push myself out there to get as much movement. Nice. Ooh, not quite. All right, where am I at? There's max, there's mid. We're now in the quarter. Whew. Let's see if I can run some topspin over to it. And I don't like the fact that the ball guide's appearing and disappearing. I'm going to make a very slight adjustment here. See if we can hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if that little adjustment was right. Just not quite enough of an adjustment. I was counting it at 16 per ring, and I did a quarter of a ring. It was right there. It was the way that I count my rough iron, and I shot a video on this. It's probably the best video I ever shot. And I've said that before, but it's true. At about mid club, I counted at 4 per ring. And when you start getting into if you take from mid to where you're standing, maybe quarter club, I'm in that 16 per ring. In between quarter and half club, I'm at that 8, and it was right there. It was kind of like it was in between those two areas. That's why I was trying to pull it back to put the topspin on it, because that put me more into the 16 per ring range. But in my experience, anytime you're trying to run topspin and the ball guide's appearing and disappearing and you're getting that kind of reaction, it's not going to be good. So it's better to switch to a backspin shot and just either put a bunch of backspin and get close, or put one backspin and work the deal. You have a lot more control over the ball when you put on any kind of backspin. It's a draw. All right. That's one shot dropped right there. So that puts me at minus 29. That's, I mean, like every single shot is super important. So hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Hole number 2 is hole number 1. This par 3, and I haven't hit it perfect into the hole yet. So let's go take. I'm taking a sniper. And I was taking a vintage ball. I'm using a 3-power ball. I don't need a lot of side spin, but it is helping cut the wind down, and there is a wind issue here. Let me get my trusty dusty calculator out. If I brought it with me. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to do 1.1 per ring, and I'm not doing anything other than just 1.1 per ring because I haven't been able to hit it in here perfect yet. So it's the wind divided by 1.1. And whatever that is, that's what it is. And this wind right here is good for us because it keeps us, we don't have to draw against the sand, but if we make a bad wind adjustment, we're in the sand. All right, hot shot. Let's roll. Let's both go out and get hole-in-ones. Get back on track. I'm choosing a berserker. They're going to switch that up. I had that on for the first hole. There we go. Katana. Let's see what kind of movement my opponent makes. There's 2 and a little. So if they did 2.7 divided by 1.2, it's 2.25. That was probably about what they did. Just a little bit short. Divided by 1.2, it's about 1.5 rings. .5 rings.
Okay then.
1.5. Now we just need to hit it perfect. What's up, Buster Boy? What's up, Itsy Bitsy?
Come on, puppies. Itsy Bitsy Buster.
They're all right. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. What's up, puppy dogs? Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. 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 You gotta go in the house because it's got the door open. We're gonna get out. All right. Had all kinds of commotion happen. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right. Let's talk about it. So, my wife just got up. It's going to be 114 degrees at my house today, which is like super unnormal. I think that might break our all-time record like forever. It's going to be super hot today, so I'm outside. I got the garage door open, and I got a nice breeze going through right now. And the dogs came out, and they can't be trusted. Woo! Getting a hole-in-one. So here's what I did on that was I watched my opponent's move doing the deal being a little short, and that is a problem here. You want to make sure you can see your ball guide going through the hole. It doesn't have to go through a lot, but you want to make sure that you can see it on the other side. But I added on 5% wind. It looked like from my opponents that I did a plus 5%. And I did it at 1.2 per ring. Now I had 1.1 on my notes, but like looking at my cheat sheet for my clubs, mid sniper. Now granted, those numbers are different if you're using a different power ball, but I'm just going off the base numbers. That was 1.2 per ring. 5% wind adjustment, 1.2 per ring. 1.4875, moved at 1.5 and into hold. All right. Now that doesn't make up for the screw up on hole number 1, but it puts me back on the 30 track. So I have to get all of these par 4s and these par 5s, and starting off with this first par 5 here. All right, let's go look at this hole. This is hole number 9. All right, this is an absolutely critical hole. So in the past, and when this hole first came out, playing it, coming through this area right here on the bleed to try and get to the tip, has how I've played it pretty much forever, except for the last couple times we've played this hole in a tournament. When the Extra Mile 9 came out, it opened up a better possibility of doing a rough bump in this area, but you're doing a second bounce rough bump. So you got bounce number 1's out here, and so it's if you're off trajectory here on the right hand side, you're in the sand. If you're off trajectory here on the left hand side, there's a good chance that you're going to be in the fairway and going for a ride. So if you're one ring off here, you know, if you follow that trajectory and you're one ring off here, if my pin will draw, when you get out here, you're way off. And when it works great, because it just bleeds you out and you end up in a perfect spot and you can go at it. And you can do this with a 3 power ball. If you bring a 4 power ball, you're just helping yourself out. But it's more important, this is just a delivery system to get me to the point where I can take this second shot. And I want to try and eliminate I want to give myself every opportunity. So I'm going to go back to my shot where I was trying to get over the tip. But I'm also going to switch to a 4 power ball, because this is definitely a hole. And if you're switching to a 4 power ball, well, in my opinion, this hole is not like a super hype. Like, I don't care where you put yourself out here, you still have a tough second shot to try and go for Alvy. I mean, the whole goal here is to end up on the green, make a putt, get your eagle, and move on. But if you're trying to really be aggressive with the Alvy, 4 side spin helps. So if you're bringing a bigger power ball, one that's got side spin will help you. And I found out I reminded myself the hard way that it rolls off pretty fast on this green. So if you're trying to get to the cup, it's like it's rolling downhill, so it's very easy to end up rolling off the green, and the rough you're immediately in the rough. I'm taking the Extra Mile. Let's think here. I changed it up. It's 3 3/4 topspin. And we'll see how that works with 3 3/4 topspin. All right, this is a big par. All of these par 5s are big par 5s. We have to get eagle on them. I mean, there's just like no option. If you can't get eagles on the par 5s, it doesn't matter what else you're doing. That's part of the minimum score. All right. I can do 3.5, 3 3/4. I'm going to do 3.5. 3 and a little. How far am I from the red line? I'm going to switch clubs. Go to this club. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. Just try and hit it perfect. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And while that puts me farther back in the deal, and that's not the distance I was looking for, that's one of the deals about hitting from that area, is that if you've got room on the left and the right. On the left-hand side, you're actually in the fairway, but you'll run out of fairway faster. So you may end up rolling off in the front. And the great to the right, you're clipping the rough and rolling out, and you may not have the distance you're looking for, but you've given yourself a second shot. Whereas if I do that second bounce rough bump and I don't hit it perfect, I'm in trouble. Big trouble. And the Marlin, you can get over there with the Marlin. You can work the shot out to get over there with the Marlin. The whole deal is the second shot sucks. Now you can get up there with a white ball and get the eagle. So it's not like they can't get it done. But you can really help yourself out, especially if you're short like I am, because I am way the hell short. Two, 4. It's 1.8 per ring, so that's about a ring and a half. And that puts me about a ring into power. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if we can get anywhere near getting bleeding up to the green. Recovered. And that's right there is what I'm talking about, is that I think, in my experience, most of the time I get out there on that peninsula, even when I'm in a really good spot, that second shot's difficult. And the whole goal coming to this hole is to get an eagle. So it's real important that you just get on so you can get your eagle. And this is exactly what I was talking about with second ball. So you can see where they're pulling to their red line. If they had a 3-power ball, you know they're up in that range already with a 3-power ball. They're in a pretty good spot. So with a 3-power ball, but if I think they'd have a much easier time. They're in a pretty good spot with a 3-power ball. Giving themselves a shot. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have my shot. All right. If we break the holes, if we break the round down into 3-hole sets, we've got a par 3, a par 4, and a par 5. You want to come out of every set in this, you've got to come out with 2 eagles. And at least a birdie, so that wasn't the way I wanted to do it, but I will take those 3 holes. I'm going to change my notes here because I think if we've got headwind, that APOC is definitely the way to go. Do 3 3/4 topspin. In the hole? In the hole. Nice shot. Crowd goes wild. That's what I'm talking about. Recovering. Great shot. All right, hole number 4. Hole number 4. Next par 4. No, hole number 4 is a par 3. All right. All right, let's go check it out. Hole number 5. All right, I'm taking a sniper and a marlin. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. It's blowing right at us, so I could take a navigator and cut the wind down just a little bit. It'll put me right at my red line. I mean, it'll put me dead at mid club or minimum club. So I may be able to take a nav. Everything so far this week has been tailwind, so I've had to pull the wind out, and I needed a power 0 ball, but I might be able to. I think I just bought some power 1 balls. Let me plug my device in before I run out of power. Power 1. Let's take one of those. I might be able to use one of those balls. I'm going to take a sniper. Get that chest rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right, I got a hole-in-one on this in the opening round, but I hit it great to the right, great to the left. I hit it great to the left. And I actually think from where it was at, if I'd have hit it perfect, I still had a pretty damn good shot at making hole-in-one, because it came in a little too hot. And the great to the left missed the break and went right over the top of it. I can get my finger to work. 2-7. It's 2 rings. All right, let's hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. And we'll see what we can get from there. Just a little short. I couldn't get that ball guide to go through the hole like I wanted it. It was either jumping through where it was on the backside of the green, or I couldn't get it to the right spot. Damn it. Right on track. Arrgh. And I'll have to think, let's think about that wind adjustment. It was 1.3 per ring at minimum club, and it was 2.7. So it should have been 2 rings, and I pulled it 2 and a titch, I think. I added on like 10%. The wind's coming right at it, so I just felt like I needed to pull it forward a little bit more because it was going to shorten it up, and it did. That would have been a nice sink. That close. All right. What's our next shot here? Okay, we're back on the par 4s, and this is the par 4 with the max overpower hook. And I actually, on the front side in the opening round, I actually made a mistake in the setup. I set the ball up in the right spot that I want to set it up in, but I forgot to put any spin at all on the ball. I didn't put any side spin or top spin or anything. I just took the katana out there and shot it, and I ended up right off the green. And this hole is hole number 7. So I set up in the right spot. I'm 1 full ring. I'm white ring off the transition, and I'm 1 full ring out. So it puts my white ring kind of the distance that you get from this cut of the rough right here and this cut of the rough, when you follow it around right here, I'm about the distance from the sand to that separation out, with my white ring out, taking the wind out. And I was putting on, when I first started, I was putting on about 5 topspin, and it was too much because it puts in all of the side spin, and it's putting me on this trajectory, on the lower trajectory, so you run out of fairway faster. Trying to end up like in this area, but I didn't put any spin on it at all. I barely missed this, but I ended up right off the green right here. Distance was good. So then on the backside, I put on like half the side spin, so that it would pull me out into the fairway. And I put on, I think we had a little bit of headwind, and I put on like 3 topspin and ended up right in this area right here. So I think I'm gonna kind of wing it a little, but I'm only gonna put on a little of the side spin, maybe half, and then I'll play the topspin by ear. So I'm gonna bring a katana and an extra mile and a katana. So I'm going to read my notes here. Max OP hook. 1 to 1.5 rings out from the sand, and it's definitely more towards the 1. And then I had it written down for what I was trying to begin with until I forgot to make the adjustment. So let's see how it plays out. This is a critical par 4. All these par 4s, we've got to get eagle. Got to come out of the front 9 with a minus 15 or better. If we can get an opponent. And the only way we're going to achieve that miraculous goal is if we get these par 4s. Shango from the Couch Caddies. Here we roll. All right, that wind kind of blows. Now, I have seen people make it over with their Apocalypse. So 4-7's about 3 rings, so that's like blue ring. A little bit past the blue ring. Let's see if they can make the swing. And they didn't have any more room for curl, so that shot setup, they could have came in about a half a ring or a ring. I'm gonna do about half. Four, 5, it's 2 rings is 4-2. I'll go a little past that. Max OP hook. And I got all of it. Okay, all we need, just hit the fairway. Hit the fairway. There we go. I think I'm on the low trajectory. Still gave myself a really good shot from there. And that's because of that wind. I needed to come in a little bit more against that particular type of wind. I got a lot of work left to get done, but I'm in a pretty good spot. See if my opponent can hit it perfect. They were way off. Way off. All right. Got some work to do. Let's see if I can run topspin. from this distance, wind may be an issue, so I'm hedging my bet. Hitting it perfect. It should come in on the right-hand side of the flagpole, hit the flagpole. Wind was about half a factor. Excellent. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Even coming into these holes with a game plan, the thing is that almost all of the shots on these par fours to try and, like, if you're really going for it, I'm not going to say they're not trick shots. They're just, they're shots with a lot of risk. All right, that was hole number 5. Hole number 6. Hole number 6 is hole number 3. All right. Now I've had several different looks at this hole, and I think I've missed one of the chips from up here, and I don't really like to be high when you're doing this. I would rather end up in front chipping up, but if I error down here, I almost always tend to find myself up high. And so I came in here, I've been like in this middle section with a Cataclysm. There's a flag post out here. 5 rings out plus a ring and a half, so 6.5 rings out from that flag post. Doing a max overpower hook shot, and the topspin will kind of vary around. Let me see what I got on my notes here. 6 topspin, somewhere in that neighborhood. Max curl, max overpower hook. But I've been all the way to the front where I was able to take my club and just actually go for it. Where I had enough forward distance here that I could curl it around. That's one of the things about Cataclysms and Big Dogs, is they do have a lot of curl as they go up. And then I forgot to bring the club, the bag with the Big Dog and the Cataclysm, and I brought a sniper, and I ended up in this middle area. And with a sniper, it's about the same setup out here. It can actually be probably a full ring set off. I went a ring set and maybe 1 ring, and ended up a little high. So I had plenty of room on the low side. So we'll have to see which way it rolls out, let's see what the wind is. It might help us. That wind is going to suck. Hold on 1 second. All right, had to go talk to a man about a horse. Let's talk about this hole. Man, I don't like that wind. The thing I don't like about that wind is it may force me to bring out a 4-power ball. And that'll change the second shot just a little bit. Let's think about what my options are. If I wanted to bring those 4-4-4s that they had out not too long ago, would be pretty nice. 4-3-3. 4-3-2. See if I have anything that's got more than 4-3-4. Acer ball. Let me make a note here on my cheat sheet. Acer ball. And I definitely want to take, it's going to be one of these 2 bags. And in this situation where I'm hitting up against a headwind, it might be better. I'm just wondering, we'll have to see how big the wind is. I might still be able to get over there with a 3-power ball. Let's think what my options are there. The side spin is an issue. On the second shot, more side spin the better. right, I guess those are my options. Kingmaker or that one. We'll have to see which way the wind's blowing. We'll have to see how hard the wind's blowing, I should say. And we'll play it by ear. This is definitely one shot at a time. One shot at a time. The thing about this particular shot is that it's very easy to end up in not the same spot every time on the drive. And so because of that, your second shot, you're going to have to roll with the punches on your second shot. I really like that wind wasn't too bad. They're going to be well short. Let's see what kind of distance. I'm going to leave the top spin. I'm going to leave the wind in just like it is. Hit it 2 rings great to the right, which puts me in a spot where I may miss the rough entirely. And from over here, I think I can take the straight up shot and go right at it, especially with a 4 power ball. I won't have to do the max overpower hook. So if I'd hit that perfect, there's a good chance I would have clipped the rough up there at the top and just bled out. Trying to get myself everything to the right. See if my opponent can get where they want to get. El Perfecto. All right. Got to make it around that band. Got 3 top spin on it. I need a little more than that. I'm going to do 4.5. I give myself plenty of room for the curl to develop. 3.3, it's 1.8 or 1.6 per ring, 1.8. There's 3.6. I'm going to move a 2 ring pull. Max curl. And I hit it 7,000 rings great on the inside. It's going to clip the rough on the second bounce. Did I miss it? Oh, I can't believe I missed that. Rolling back down the backboard. All right, easy eagle. I survived my bad shot on the second shot. That's one of the reasons why I gave myself so much room. Those big curl shots like that, you always want to give yourself plenty of room for like normally if you watch my stuff, I'm a big fan of always leaving myself 2 rings of separation, but whenever you're doing max curl, I like to always give myself 3 rings of separation, so if you have a big screw up like that on the inside, you still might make the turn. You got to give that curl room to develop. Close, very close. All right, still got a little work to do. Into hole. All right, eagle. So we made it through the mid set, just like the first set, with 2 eagles and a birdie, which is exactly our minimum that we're looking for. So hole number 7. What is hole 7? Hole 7 is the next par 3, the last par 3, and it is hole number 6. All right. You know, I've been doing the rough bump here, and I think I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to go to the backspin shot. Now, I can do this, I believe, with a sniper. And I'm going to switch from doing the rough bump, trying to get it in, to doing the backspin shot. Because part of the thing is that I'm not 100% sure about the wind adjustment. And if you make a bad adjustment in that rough, you can end up being in some serious shit. Whereas if you're doing the rough bump, or if you're doing the backspin shot and you make a bad wind adjustment, you're still up there by the cup and moving on. And I did make a hole-in-one on the rough bump, and once again I hit it great to the, I think I hit it great to the left. That was with just a standard wind adjustment. So I'm using a sniper and a katana, and I'm at mid club, so it's 1.2 per ring. But if I'm doing, and we'll stick with that, a katana. I'm taking a sniper. Now I want to make sure that in one of these bags, just in case, for whatever reason, got that bag set up for that, I'm going to put a Guardian in this bag. I'm 100% sure the sniper will get it done, but just in case, I want to make sure I have a backspin club. And I haven't done the backspin shot all week, so I'm not sure. Not sure. Which way's the wind blowing? It's blowing from that direction. I'm going to do a little bit of an adjustment just because we're dealing with a headwind. We'll see. I go first. There's Min. There's Max. So I'm eking towards Max Club, which is 1.0 per ring. I'm on the outside edge of the cup. Times 3.2. It's 3.5 rings. There's 352. Oh, 2 rings great to the left. I was running out of time. You can't get enough with the sniper. If it's got all of its backspin, otherwise you'll have to use a Guardian there. I remember playing this hole with a Guardian when it first came out. There was a bunch of holes when the game first came out that when you got on the shootouts, if you had a Guardian, you could stick it right by the cup, and you had that was a huge advantage. But it was a disadvantage on a lot of the holes that you had to play to get to the shootout. So if you could survive to the shootout and you had a Guardian, it gave you a leg up. But they changed a lot of those holes, and they're now a lot more sniper friendly. See if my opponent can get in. Hitting it perfect, which is what I would have liked to have hit. That much. Not a slight overpull. In the hole. All right. these last two holes. This next par 4, it's super critical. To hit this drive shot perfect. We'll have to see which way the wind's blowing. I'd rather get any wind that's coming from the left to the right, even if it was a little bit of headwind. But I have a feeling that we're going to get some like due headwind. Let's check out hole number 8. Let's look at it real quick so we can see which way the wind's blowing. That wind's not super bad. That's kind of neutral, pure side. And I'm taking a Kingmaker and an Apocalypse. Okay, I'm gonna grab my bag first. I'm gonna go glance at the hole just to make sure that I got it. It doesn't matter what any other club in the bag is. I'm not gonna be in wood no matter what. We're taking a Kingmaker. It's not the king of balls, but it's close. All right, let's go look at it. This is hole number 4. All right, so what the wind's blowing across pretty flat, so it's not really helping any of the positions. If you wanted to be straight against the wind, being out in here so that you'd be hitting straight up against the wind going to the cup, as opposed to any of the other spots where you'd be going against the side wind, especially out here. What I'm trying to do is center my ball guide up here, max overpower, max curl, not a hook, just a regular shot, trying to hit perfect and bringing it around so that it bleeds through this area and just gets out here on the fairway. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, I got the right ball. I got the right club. I just need to hit this perfect. Perfect or a 1-ring great to the right. Maybe even a 2-ring great to the right. Sometimes I get lucky on a shot to the left. Like sometimes it could be a 1 or a 2-ring great to the left or a 1 or 2-ring great to the right. And they'll go in. It's going to depend. That's a tricky shot if they're trying to hit that little teeny peninsula right there. Let's see if they can achieve that. Hit it perfect. Let's see. I want to see that land on there. That's a pretty narrow, but that's a great way to do it. Nice shot. Nice shot. Crowd goes wild. Crowd goes wild. I want to be centered up. Max. 3-2. It's 1.5 per ring. Need to hit it perfect. Hit a 1-ring great to the left. We'll see if it can get over the sand. Nope. Coming through that area, sometimes it catches that fairway and bounces over that sand, and sometimes that second bounce isn't quite right. Change in wind direction has huge effects on that ball. All right, I can make it from here. This shot is in my bag. My opponent got in. They're thinking they're going to win a chest, and I'm going to break their heart right here. We need to get this shot to stay on track. To have any shot. All right, got to hit it perfect. And hit it one ring great to the right. Just on the outside. Oh, needed to hit that perfect. It was just at that right distance that there's only one shot. Like, you can't hedge your bet there and get a great to the left or the right. You're either perfect and in the hole, or you're not perfect. It's right there. Damn it. That's one. That is a killer. That's 2 of the par 4s not getting a shot. I picked up one of the par 3s. So there is, in my opinion, no opportunity. Well, there is an opportunity to make Albie on this last hole, but this last hole is not. This is hole number 8. Okay, let's see which way the wind's blowing. The wind is not super helping us. So blowing across the fairway, it's kind of neutral on the drive shot. Second shot, nice crosswind pushing you into that sand. I'm just going to play this hole pretty safe and just get my eagle, put myself in a good spot. I'm taking that bag right there and a kingmaker. That should be all I need. Let's get at it. All right, so the best that I can get here on the front is a -14 if I can get the eagle on this hole. So that means on the back, in order to have any shot at all towards the top, I'm going to have to shoot a -16. I was on the other day, I actually dropped one of the par 4s and one of the par 5s. And I had shots on both of them, but I missed the chips. Was able to pick up 2 of the par 4s, the other 2 par 5s, and 2 of the par 3s, and ended up with a -15 with 2, what I would consider 2 drop shots that I should have got. So getting a 16 or a 17 is possible. I know that there's a couple people out there that have gotten Albies this weekend, but they are, on these holes, an exception. A huge exception. And the rock might work pretty good on this hole. No more than 2 topspin. Should be able to use max curl. Let's see how many rings off they go. They went 3 and some. And why wouldn't you put max curl on that? Set that shot up so you can try and get as close to the pin as possible. They should stick nicely because they only put on 2 topspin, but it seems like they could have got at least a little bit more forward distance. And you can bring a power 5 ball and get over the other side, and you can easily get an eagle on this hole because you can just hit yourself up into the rough. Two and a little. 2, 1.5 per ring. That leaves, and so that's about a ring and a half. I'm going to go just a little farther. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how much forward distance I can get. Clip that rough. Too much. I was debating, I just talked about being 3 rings off and you're doing max curl shots, and I was debating doing it, but I thought, that's why I was 2 and a little off instead of the full 3, because I thought there was enough room on the other side, even with max curl, that I could clear that. I actually think I'm still closer than my opponent. I don't think they'd have to do hardly any overpower at all, and the wind's going to push them at that angle. And they hit it great to the right. That might roll off in the rough, in the sand. It's very easy to roll off on this. Yep. Very easy. I'm going to do a rough bump here. I'm going to take the wind out. It's about a ring and a half. I'm trying to do the rough bump to put myself in a spot just to chip it up. Hitting it perfect. And just chip it over there. I don't like spots like that where I have to put on a little bit of overpower and you're that close and the green ends so quickly. So if you don't have a lot of really good control of the speed of your ball, it's very easy to end up where my opponent's at. And I think my chances of making this shot are better than putting myself in trouble and missing like my opponent just did. Let's not do that. And this is a difficult way to come into the cup, because I don't think I can do, I might be able to run it out, maybe. All right, need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. All right. Recovered. That is not the front that I was looking for. I did pick up one shot, but I dropped two. The two of the par fours I did not get the eagles on, and that's absolutely a requirement. So minus 14 is just not going to cut the mustard. If I want any chances at all, I'm going to have to shoot at least a 16 on the back to put me at 30 to give me any shot. But I actually think with the two shots I dropped on the front, I've already taken myself out of contention. So now it'd be just to see if I could make the top 10. All right, that was the front nine of the playoff tournament. Thanks for watching.